Good evening, everybody. I'd like to welcome everybody and thank them for joining us and supporting the family while we celebrate Marta's life this evening. The format that we're having tonight is a little bit different than a traditional funeral service. We're celebrating a life, and this is an opportunity for everybody that's here to come up and say something if they'd like, share a memory, or just say some words, or however you like to say what's on your mind. So, of course, on behalf of the family, they're all very grateful for you being here today to show them this support. And everybody that's joined us online and is still joining, there's about a dozen people on so far that are joining us here that couldn't make it tonight. So at this time, anybody that'd like to come up and say some words, you're welcome to do that.
Okay. It's a hard day, so pardon me if I skip a beat every now and then. I'm not going to talk about our grief or sadness or continuing shock that this week has brought. You know, we know how we feel. We don't need to be reminded of that. And to be honest, I'm still not 100% sure this is all happening or if I'm really here. It's just so shocking. And these waves keep coming. There's some kind of a blurry closure, I think, you know, that we're going through. I think the DABDA system is how people face grief, and we're at that point now. Probably depression is setting in, you know, for all of us. But one thing for sure, I would never miss an opportunity to honor Marta at any point. And I will for the rest of my life, too. You know, she meant so much to all of us. In fact, it's almost redundant that I say that because I know everyone in here, she's touched deeply. So when we were going through all the motions of preparing for tonight to honor and remember Marta, we kept seeing and hearing, as you can tell from the great photos that Tony put together, but we kept seeing and hearing by talking to people and the photos, Marta's values, what she held really closely in her heart. And again, pardon me if I preach to the choir. I know that you all have the same feelings that I do. And what an exceptional soul she is. Her kindness, her intelligence, we were just talking about how smart she actually was. How beautiful everything about Marta was, you know, every single thing. Marta could do no wrong. Jerry. It wasn't in her being. And it's because she is truly a good soul, is what it was. She was just whatever she could to help anyone or anything. That's what Marta was. And there wasn't a delay. If somebody needed help or an animal needed help, it was instant in her being to do that. And again, that's the kind of soul she was. I mean, she was that way. I mean, for those of you that didn't know, Marta has done so much, like for taking care of my mom, for our mom, Jerry and I. You know, her organizing skills alone are amazing, but she's done so much just taking care of my mom, like I said, and our mom. Trips, you name it. She was just amazing. Like on the day that Marta passed, my mom had her phone off, and Marta kept trying to call and could not get through to her. So Marta, what does she do? She hops in her car, drives over to make sure she's all right without delay. That's what Marta does. She helps people that are in need. Okay? She did. Marta she loved. She loved people and animals alike. I mean, she and Jerry fostered animals that needed help, some of which needed medical attention, and they, without delay again, she was there to help those animals in a heartbeat without thinking about it. She would never blink an eye to ease their pain. She always took action, and she helped so many. She will certainly be missed. I could stand here and speak of Marta for hours, and I know we don't have that time tonight, but her beauty, her kind genius, her intelligence was bar none. If Marta wasn't a genius, I don't know who was. She was quick-witted and just amazing. I mean, she had a master's degree in engineering. You know, everybody knows that knows her. From The Ohio State University, she co-founded the first engineering sorority at Ohio State. Things like that. I mean, those are big steps in life, and she did those. She did great. But right now, in this time of grief, what I'm choosing to do myself is just to remember her kindness, her good soul, and love you, Marta. I will always remember her that way. I will be a kinder person because I knew her, and I will for the rest of my life. And always be kind, you know, and help others. We love you, Marta.
I'm Cindy. I'm Dwayne's wife and Marta's sister-in-law, and Marta's been in my life for at least 38 years, since I was 2 years old. Wink, wink. She and my sister Karen were best friends the last few years of high school, and throughout college they were roommates and best friends. They both took me under their wing when I came to the Ohio State University. We had a lot of great times together. We all became little sisters for a fraternity, and we met more friends there and had great times together there as well. We went on spring breaks together, and she was my cohort in the I was driving the graveyard shift, and she would make sure I had music I could sing to stay awake when we would drive to Daytona for spring break. So she was my what do they call that? My co-pilot, I guess, during that time. Marta started dating Jerry a few months before a big group of us went to the Bahamas for spring break, and Jerry invited his mom and his brother to go, and that's how I met Dwayne. So Dwayne and I got married in May of 1991, and Marta and Jerry got married in December that same year. She stayed with us for a while before she went to New Zealand to get married, and we worked together on the band that she wore, the headband that she wore for the wedding when she stayed with us. Throughout the 29 years that we have been sister-in-laws, we had many adventures, and we were always friends. She became a wonderful aunt to my 4 children and became a great friend and aunt to their girlfriends and boyfriend also. She was the organizer in our family, so if Jerry had an idea of something that we wanted to do, she would plan it out. She was the planner and the organizer of our get-togethers and our vacations. She arranged a wonderful trip that we had an exceptional trip last year to Grand Cayman, and we celebrated her birthday there last year, and it was a wonderful time. Marta was very generous, very witty, and very smart. She was very loving, of course, we all know, to humans and animals. And we love you, Marta. It's hard to imagine life without you, but until we meet again. Thank you.
I don't have anything prepared, but I can't let an opportunity to talk about Marta go by, so please bear with me. Marta was a very good friend of mine. I'm Karen. I'm Cindy's sister. And we went through band together and drama. And when we went to Ohio State, we were roommates. And she was the cool roommate. She was the cool friend who helped bring me out of my shell. She never left me behind. She always lifted me up. And we did everything from go on vacation to California to visit her brother. We went to Georgia to visit a friend. We went to the Bahamas, as Cindy said, and Daytona. And she was just full of adventure and love and life, and she enjoyed life to the fullest. As they said, she loved people and had such a kind heart and loved animals, maybe even a little more than most people, I would say. And I'm going to miss her a great deal. My love for you, Marta, will not be diminished by your absence, and you'll be in my heart forever until we meet again. Thanks for being a part of my life.
I close my eyes only for a moment, and the moment's gone. All my dreams pass before my eyes. A curiosity, dust in the wind. All we are is dust in the wind. That's the song that kind of plays through my mind when I think of all the memories I have with Marta. I think that song for two reasons, really. One is Marta was a really big Kansas fan in college, at least. And we went to a concert one time. Kansas came to Ohio State. And she was all excited. And it's the closest I've ever seen Marta becoming anything in the realm of a groupie. Like you've heard, very composed, very smart. But she was like groupie, you know. She was like, Kansas, I can't believe it. So we went to this concert, fantastic concert. And after the concert was over, we were walking down High Street, and we saw the band getting on the bus. And I don't know if it was a band member or a roadie or something like that, actually go, come on. I was like, Marta, go, this is your chance. This is what you've been waiting for. Of course, she was too calm and collected to kind of fall on that. But the second reason why I picked that song is just that, you know, it's just amazing how we all come together. You know, the events, you know, it's just dust in the wind. It's like, you know, it's like the butterfly effect. They flap their wings and dust particles move and things happen. Things change the world. And I think back of like the miraculous set of events that kind of put us all here together today. And you guys heard it a couple times. First of all, it's amazing. We all went to Ohio State, right? And I was supposed to go to Indiana. Jerry wanted to join the Air Force. Remember that? And yeah, still do. So it's amazing that we all decided to go to the Ohio State University at the same time anyway. So that's the first odds, right? So that's the first thing I have. Then the second thing that was miraculous was this copy of the periodic table. I decided to take engineering level chemistry. Okay, what political science major is in engineering chemistry? Where I met Karen. Karen and I were in the class together. So that's how we actually met. Anyway, I ended up becoming an analytical chemist, but that's another story. But so we met in this chemistry class, and then so that's great. So that I got to meet her, and then the next thing that I brought as a prop is just a set of playing cards, and this is our old roommates. We would almost every night play a game of euchre, and it was like the loser always went to bed mad. Okay, and Jerry and I were usually partners, and anyway, it ended up they were like, oh, at least one of them were like, I think we're gonna live with somebody else next year, which opened up, some chance for some new roommates. So every good or bad decision always has some type of alcohol involved. So this is the next product that I brought. I must have mentioned it in class one time, and that we were looking for roommates to Karen. And then all of a sudden, Jerry and I had a few of these going on, and she called, and she was like, hey, we're looking for a place too. We can't find a two-person place. What do you guys think of doing that? And we had a few beers, and we were like, yeah, let's do that. Do you remember that conversation? So
you put your hand over the phone and you said, hey, man, these chicks want to know if we want to be roommates next year. And I was like, okay.
It tells the story better than I do. But so I just think of like the circumstances, the dust that we are, the butterfly effect. I mean, all those things had to happen. Any one of them you take out, we're probably not roommates. Okay? Without that, Jerry and Marta probably would have never met. That means Dwayne and Cindy probably would have never met. Okay? Your kids. It's just weird how things come together in certain circumstances, like dust in the wind. So I play that song back when I think of memories of Marta, and some of the ones like Dwayne said, I could be up here all night telling them. But a couple of the highlights was one time in college. I told the story the other day to Jerry. Is we were out at an establishment, and Marta was wearing this hot black miniskirt. Okay, and I don't know what I was thinking, but I was like, it's time to go. And I picked her up fireman style, and I carried her up the stairs and sat her down, and she leaned back and went whack right across the face so hard that I had a handprint here for 3 days. I'm not kidding. So, yeah, that was funny.
Hey, you forgot one detail.
What's that?
As you were carrying her over your shoulder, you were also shouting, "Free girl." Free girl.
I was going to keep that part out, but I can't get by with anything.
I think she added a little extra sting to the slap because of that.
So that was true. So we went on we roomed together for a year, and then the next year we actually expanded our roommates. We had 10 roommates, and one of the things that we just had a great time. And one of the things that we did is we created this thing called Bottle Night, something that we'll have to plan shortly, is that we all brought a bottle to this ceremony, and we basically made a pledge that upon the roommate's death that we would get back and open up that bottle and drink to their memory. So that's something that we have several of the roommates here today. Something that we hold near and dear, and that we'll have to plan sometime in the future. So it was a special group, a special time. It wasn't just college memories. After that, me and Marta got her master's in industrial engineering, right, and international paper career. And then I was lucky enough to have her come, kind of help save the company at CFA, and basically run the show. I tried to call her a bookkeeper, but she wasn't really. She was really kind of running it, and really put us in a good position to sell the company later on. So that was a lot of good times. After that, I went out and started trying to raise 1,000 kids of my own, and didn't see Jerry and Marta as much as I would have liked to over the years. But the last 4 or 5 years, we did start spending more time together. And a couple years ago, Tracy came over, and Marta was going to go to Hawaii by herself because Jerry had some surgery, and she kind of threw out like, "Hey, Tracy, you want to go?" And 2 weeks later, there was an airplane taking off. I was like, okay, guess I'll watch the kid and feed the dogs. But you know, I am kind of mad a little bit. I just felt like it's too soon. I thought I had more time. I don't feel like I had enough, you know. So I'm not going to say goodbye today. I'm going to just say, see you later, and play those memories back through my head over and over again until I'm ready. That's it.
Thanks, Tony. Give everyone a few minutes to recover, and if anybody else wants to say anything, feel free.
Hello. I am Marta's, I get confused with the whole cousin remove sort of thing. I am TK's daughter, and TK is Marta's cousin. Growing up in our family, we didn't have a lot of family. So Marta's age was like, she was kind of in between my mom and I, in age-wise. And so she was kind of like an older cousin, and we always irritated her. She was always, she taught me sarcasm. I learned it from her, and that's something I'm going to miss, just like her biting humor about everything. But one thing I never got to do and to thank her for enough was when our dad died, Marta was there the next day. She stayed with my mom. She took care of everything. Like, I don't know what we would have done through that period of time, and she didn't ask for anything. There was no, it wasn't like she felt that she was expected to be, she just showed up, and she helped us make it through that time, and it was the hardest thing that I've ever been through, and I can't imagine what you're going through right now, not having her to help you through this. But her heart was so big, and she loved so much, and I'm going to miss her, and I, again, thank her for just what she is to us.
Sorry I didn't prepare anything. Marta was like a sister to me, and when she was 9 years younger than me. I remember when I got married, she was probably 10 years old, but I loved her dearly, and she was always there anytime I needed her help. When my husband died, when I had my back surgery, when I had my knee surgery, she was there to support me. And I will miss her dearly. I love her very much.
Sometimes there's so many other words that are just left in the minds of people sitting in this room when you want to remember somebody. I'm Rob. I wanted to ask you, or give you an opportunity, if you maybe not wanted to step up here, but if you could release one word about Marta, one word, what would that be? Henri. The driver, the golf cart driver.
And she had me in the front seat, and she decided that she was going to show me the bushes. She was running the bushes and laughing.
Henri.
You're fine, Henri. And she liked to, when she was a kid, she liked to tie my husband's shoelaces together. And so he would pretend he didn't know it, and then he'd stand up and pretend like he was going to fall, and she'd get a real kick out of it.
That's fun.
In fact, the picture in the video, in the film, that she had the rabbit ears on his
Mm-hmm.
That was my husband. And she'd do that when she was a kid too. And he would pretend he didn't see it. That's why he's going.
Sounds like she brought a lot of life to places in people's lives.
She did. And I thought that was a great honorary picture.
To me, she was the embodiment of a kind person.
Kindness. Mm-hmm. Other memory words? I heard you talking, so she was loving, fun to be with, fun, considerate, generous. Mm-hmm.
Generous and genuine.
Mm-hmm.
She was real.
You got to appreciate that. Probably vulnerable. If she was real, she wasn't hard to see into her heart, was it? Adventurous. Well, there's the words you're sharing are the reflections of eternal love. And when you're touched by eternal love, you really aren't the same. When you experience that throughout somebody's life, in relationship, in the words you're saying, love's not perfect, but it's love, right? And it's something to appreciate and honor and respect. So I'm really glad you've taken this opportunity, this sad but memorable, but even celebrate. I heard laughter from your stories. It was good. It was good. Would anybody else like to share? Do you want to? Okay. No pressure. Just wanted you to have that opportunity. It was.
Thank you to everyone for coming today. It would mean a lot. I know we're all going to miss her greatly, and somehow we'll put one foot in front of the other, and we will get through this. I don't know how yet.
It is a journey, friend. It is a journey. And when you love like you have, and like I heard other stories in here, it's a difficult journey, but it is a journey. Unfortunately, if you've never loved, you won't grieve. And it's a weird exchange, love and grief. But the more you love, the harder it is. And I appreciate that, what you're sharing. It's good that you did this, though. This is a time of closure, but not forgetting. A time of closure and a time of healthy closure. Can I just offer a peaceful word of prayer and then we'll conclude? Okay. Would you bow with me? Father, I just thank you for the life that's been represented here in Marta, God. I thank you for the eternal love that she has shared with friends, with family. I appreciate the closeness that she was the vulnerability that she shared with people. And I ask, God, that you would comfort the grieving hearts in this room and that you would just help us through this difficult time. I just ask all this in Jesus' name. Amen. We want to give you an opportunity to, if you'd like to come up and say goodbye to Marta physically, you can do that, and then just take your time, and then you can leave as you wish. Thank you.